Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Today is Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. How's everybody doing? I know you're ready for the weekend, and I am just setting up our Facebook so that we can be live to everyone. Let's see. There we go. So, hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Lisa Marie Aird with Campus Bound GPS, where we help students and parents navigate the college application process. This is October Tips. We are winding down. Today is the 22nd of 31 tips. I am super excited to be here again today. We've been doing it, and I'm super excited. So today, well, let me go back a little bit because let me tell you who I am. My name is Lisa Marie Aird. I am the Collegiate Success Coach with Campus Bound GPS, and you can tell I'm excited. We help you students, we help you parents go through, navigate the college application process, so you don't have to worry as much. You're always going to worry. You're always going to have some kind of stress, some kind of anxiety, some kind of concerns. But we're here to help you debunk some of that, to navigate you through, and to answer any questions that you have. So today, yesterday we focused on NCAA eligibility. We're going to deep dive a little bit because we stopped when it came to name, image, and likeness. And our guest yesterday, Amato Lambert, he paused because he said, I don't really know too much about that. But I said, no worries, because our guest today is going to speak about it. And I am so excited to introduce to you my Hampton University classmate, Monique A.J. Smith, who is the leadership strategist. She has her own company, Seeds of Empowerment. Thank you. I needed that little hint. Seeds of Empowerment. And she is here to talk to you about this new thing that the NCAA is doing. So I'm going to pull back. I'm going to let Monique speak a little bit more about herself, introduce herself to you. She has been a guest with Campus Bound GPS a few years back. She's back again, and I'm so excited. So welcome, Monique.
Thank you, Lisa. My Hampton mass media classmate. I mean, we're real classmates, like been in class together. So I'm excited, and I'm just really glad that you're continuing this much needed service. I look forward to seeing this every October. So I'm Monique A.J. Smith. Just for those classmates, yes, it still is Tony. That's where the A to J comes from. Tony Jones is still in here. And I'm a leadership strategist for athletic departments and individuals who wish to advance in athletic administration. Uniquely, I'm also an adjunct professor at Hampton University, teaching in the sports management department. And this new development, ironically, did not come from the NCAA. It really came from the state houses. Okay, this would be California, matter of fact. California said first that if you are in the state of California, you may earn money off of your name, image, and likeness. And so it becomes a recruiting situation for different states. It's like, okay, well, if they're going to do it over there, we must do it. And so the NCAA began to do some conversations and said we're going to vote on it, but they then put a pause on it and said, okay, institutions, you're on your own. Just make sure you do not violate any of your state laws about it. So it is so very new that I teach collegiate athletic administration that I've had to slow down my normal conversation of teaching because I usually would talk about violations to teach them about compliance. And I would usually talk about recruiting violations. And so I've had to go like, what it used, what will it used to be? So I said, you know what? We're gonna rewind the tape on this, and you all are going to study this new development. So anybody in my class will become the expert on the subject. And because it's so new and so many new developments will come from this, most large institutions, will hire someone just to oversee this new program. And that's about I'm positioning my people for that position. So
it's interesting because your topic is not necessarily deep diving into it, but what I like about it is I'll call it today educating. We're providing a tip, but we're also educating our audience on the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. I love that. So we're going to go into the possibilities. And I liked what you said, that each state is different. That's something that we really need to learn about. And before you mentioned California, and I do remember when the news came out saying California was going to be the first state to do that. Now, my question is, a student athlete attends a school in California. They are from a different state, but is it only where you are physically at that moment? Is it with the school that you're attending? Is it from the place that you were raised? How does this all work?
Well, it depends on where the student is. So if we're talking about a high school student, that's a whole different conversation. Mm-hmm. Because my understanding, because again, it is very fluid, okay? And I thank goodness that the world has gotten used to fluid decisions based on COVID. So, but what I understand is public school students cannot. But most of our elite students are not in public school anyway. They're in private schools, academies. They are, reclassifying. They're stay at home, all of those kind of things. And so depending upon their governing body and what they say, that's how you can do it.
So wait a minute. I'm hearing something that I never heard before. Mm-hmm. It's possible for a high school athlete to benefit from this, depending on what state they live in.
No, depending upon if they're in public school or private school.
Private school. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, because from what I understand, the National High School Federation says that they're not touching it. So if you're a public school and you're within that, that becomes an overriding factor than your state. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but if you're a public school, if you're a private, then you still have to go and research that piece and what can be done. But most of the time, I just be honest with you. People got their head in the sand, and you ask the question, "Oh, we haven't done that." And I'm really excited. So here's to share this, because I'm in Virginia, and one of the women that have been on my podcast, I have a podcast.
Yes.
Where I interview African-American female athletic administrators. I'm in my 8th season. And my whole point is to get people ready for careers in athletic administration. So Carla Williams, who is the athletic director at UVA, she pushed the governor of Virginia to speed up and come up with the resolution of how Virginia was going to handle it. They were going to wait to January to General Assembly to vote on it. And she was like, we need to have something now. And here's the interesting thing, because, different institutions have a different take on it. Mm-hmm. Some of them are all for it, like Carla Williams at Virginia, but then some are like, hold on, you can't use our logos. You can't do so and so and so and so. And hands off. And, instead of necessarily looking at it as a possibility to grow the student, all right, and grow the brand of the university. Because think about it, you got somebody else going around doing that, you got less that you got to do over here. But many people always think from change from a standpoint of what I'm losing out, not what I'm gaining. And so with that, it's like, okay, like I think I shared with you before, some institutions are charging you if you use the logo. Because again, it becomes a recruiting war. I say no, but then I hear somebody else doing, okay, well, yeah, we'll let you do that. And so with that, it's twofold when it comes to this. Like I shared with you before, it's not about a athlete going out and go getting a car dealership on his own. What we're really talking about is having money to maybe go wash some clothes.
So when we hear when it was first announced and we heard all of this jargon that we're trying to interpret, and you're right, the first thing I personally thought about is, hey, now athletes have the opportunity, college athletes have the opportunity to get endorsements based on who they are. So I was thinking like the elite athletes would come out and probably have more street cred, so to speak, so that they would be pulled by the larger brands and so forth and get the deals here and there. But it could be just about anything.
Well, again, by being an adjunct professor at Hampton, one of my students worked for the Undefeated, and he had me on the Undefeated podcast talking. He wanted me to talk about I think it was the WNBA draft or something, or the playoffs. I said, no, what I want to talk about is this. This was like 2019. Yeah, the fall of 2019. And because again, I don't know about forecasting per se, but I'm an avid reader and I knew it was coming down. Here was how I got excited. Okay, if we are in education and we're telling kids to try things, internships, and the world is entrepreneurial, why are we blocking our kids from trying and seeing what works? Because again, when you're an entrepreneur, you definitely are experimenting what works and what doesn't work. So why not do that in an educational setting? But we block our student athletes from doing that because we thought it was extra benefit. Whether it is them showing the perfect kick for a field goal, or their fashion, and that they've been sewing. And I do have a athlete who is a fashion person, showed me all his fashion stuff. I actually have always had athletes to do such, and they knew the tricks of the trade by not showing their face or having a cartoon be their representative of themselves. And
would represent that likeness feature.
Well, not necessarily them, because that would have been a violation and it would have lost eligibility. Gotcha. So now here is the opportunity to allow them to grow now as everyone else would be in their profession. And our athletes can go and have their own camps, in the off season. And
wow. So you're telling me, like, Lisa Marie Aird, I used to run track and field. Okay. So let's say I want to have, I'm at Hampton because that's where I graduated. So I'm going to use real stories here. So I am Lisa Marie Aird, track and field, what I would wish I was, track and field athlete at Hampton University. And I decided that I want to come back to where I live in Virginia, and have at my high school that I graduated from a summer camp to help our future track and field students. You mean with this new ruling or this new, whatever it's called, what is it actually? It's this new
law
thing. It's a law. It's a law.
Yeah, because it was enacted with states.
Okay, so this new law.
Yeah, it's not the NCAA did not start it. They had to get involved because California did it. And then Florida said they're going to do it. And then Texas, and it was like, okay, now they're still saying, which is most needed, there needs to be some national law because you got the Wild Wild West going up on him there. I'm gonna do this and I can do this, can do this. But if you're like me and I always take it from an educational standpoint, you always feel as if you are always on the winning side, not trying to be just divisive. You know what I'm saying? So if I take it from an educational standpoint, and again, I've been a consultant since 2005 on Title IX issues. So this is perfect for some of those deficits when it comes to women's programs, because who are the most buying consumers out there? Women. And so we can see individual student athletes, hair products, either they're doing, I've had many students who are not athletes, but they had their own, I think it was lipstick products already, girl from New York. So I got my lipstick line and da 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 da. And I'm going like, and then let's not go with the nails, the lashes, the wigs. Because we always had somebody in the dorm who was getting their money on doing somebody's hair.
I do remember that.
So again, those are things that they don't have to hide it. They can use that and say, look, see my hair? I did this myself. So many people think about endorsement for somebody else, but think about them learning how, because again, 2021 and beyond, you better have more than one income stream. I'm here to tell you.
So the interesting thing too, and for any of our viewers out here, please feel free to drop a question in here. This is your time, because it is a new conversation when it comes to student athletes. They did not have this opportunity before, and it's really interesting. So we're talking about possibilities, and we're hearing that you can use your name, your image, your likeness in an entrepreneurial spirit to earn additional dollars, not necessarily, what we tend to gravitate to with the big names and the big when you look at a sports event on television, looking at all those advertisers, we're talking about even something as unique as lipstick or hair products, right? So now it opens the opportunity so that you can earn money based off of you.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing about my name, likeness, name, image, and likeness. You can create something and then you put your name to it. Before you would create it, but you had to be a silent partner, not use your name or any of that. But the part about being an athlete puts you on a stage. So now you can be on a stage and benefit from being on a stage other than competing. And so, but there are a couple stipulations. You must inform your athletic department, your compliance office about your opportunities so that it can make sure it does not interfere with any other endorsements the athletic department have. And the important piece is that when you share the opportunity, it is not for them to say yes or no if it's a good opportunity or not, because that's not their jurisdiction. They were just trying to make sure that you're not having
conflict of interest.
Yeah, conflict of interest, most definitely. And the folks that are offering opportunities are not necessarily going to protect the institution. So they actually probably will know what you got. And they were put in a position, hopefully, just be honest, everybody's not honest, trying to trip the kid up and say, okay, yeah, we want you to do so-and-so. Oh, yeah, we can't pay you because you did this, because we told you to wear it during practice. And the institution says you can't wear it during practice. You can't wear it during training table, any of that. But I tell you, with numbers and social media, that will probably tell you who is going to get the opportunity, as influencers and things of that nature. So I think it is a great possibility. And I would say when you are being recruited, because most time your people that are watching, kids still in high school, you need to ask the question, how are you all handling NIL? And let that be one of your comparisons. Because again, if it's a different state, it's a different way of looking at it. Maryland says that 2023, that's when they can do it. Virginia, you can do it, but you got to make sure that it's not drugs, gambling, alcohol, weapons, or adult entertainment. Those are the areas that you cannot come into agreement with in Virginia. But anything other than that, you can go out there and partner with. And then and I understand the state of Georgia. You can do it, but you have to provide 75% back to your institution.
75?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Wait, that's a big number.
Yeah. So if you don't know, it was say you came from Virginia and you all excited because Virginia said you can do so and so and so, and you thinking I'm a Virginian, but it's where the school is and where you're going to be enrolled. So think about it. If you did this before enrollment, you're going to have to tell folks, where you stand. Now, most importantly, this is what I didn't say, because I'm thinking about recruiting and what the opportunities are. Where we used to say you can't get an agent. Well, you can get an agent because the agent's going to make sure, number one, if it's a lawyer, because these agents can be a PR person, agent can be a finance person. Agent is just a word to be able to say somebody's working with the student. You follow me? And so from a PR standpoint, that would count as well as the agent. So you want to make sure, have a lawyer look over, again, for these little catches I told you about before. Mm-hmm. But number two, who's going to make sure that your money is saved to put away for taxes? Because that's where it's going to get a little sticky.
Gotcha. That's very important. Finance 101.
And you'd be surprised how many kids don't have a clue about financing. None. I mean, I asked it in my class and I was like, they didn't know what I was talking about. How about this? And I said, well, this is why student athlete development is really important in athletics, because you are preparing a person for the after and they don't know about any of this.
So when you are researching or when you're being recruited and you're trying to make a decision on where you want to go, it sounds like there are some really important questions now that our high school student athletes need to ask these colleges and universities before they step foot on signing an NLI so that they can attend their school.
Yeah, it's funny, and it's funny that you say that. So because they do sound so much alike. National letter of intent, and then we talk about name, image, and likeness. Because I did a post recently, and I switched up the letters and didn't realize it. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But they are, you really have to be careful. So when it comes to signing day, just make sure you student athletes, you parents out there, that you ask the right questions, especially when you know that there's a strong probability that now you can have a entrepreneurial endeavor as well as being a student athlete and the possibilities that unfolds.
Very much so. And I was thinking about when I was writing this, again, being PR and promotion comes to me naturally. And I was a sports information director when I first came out of school. And when I was trying to get kids publicity, because again, I could get kids All-American, be from a losing team, if you know how to spin it, right? And so I would write a lot of hometown stories. Actually, I saw one of my former student athletes. He's about 50 years old. My first year. And he came from Norfolk, Virginia, and he was at St. Paul's College. And he said when he saw people were reading about the stories I write for his hometown and sent it to them, he said that's how Norfolk State saw him, and they grabbed him from St. Paul's and he transferred to Norfolk. Yes, that was a hot sister. You hear me? So he made the all-rookie team, and then the second year he goes to Norfolk. But that being said, it's the same thing I'm saying about this name, image, and likeness. You could probably get promote your hometown, your hometown restaurant, And even I would say, even the hometown dealership. I mean, that's about that. That seems to be reasonable. You know, if you're talking about a dealership, it's gonna probably be one at your back door. Is you got a family friend, and or that's where you want to get a job, or because again, they're already following that kid. They're already following that kid. They're all excited about that kid going D1 and blah blah blah. That's probably the place where you can find your most endorsements.
So what I'm hearing a lot is high school student wanting to go somewhere, decides that they're going to use their name, image, and likeness in their hometown as a social media influencer and show off not only their skills and their talents, but show that different side of them that can probably be a spokesperson. So now you're looking at a communications major, and maybe building their repertoire so that they can go into sportscasting maybe later on in their, oh wow, this can be spun so many ways. Mm-hmm. And I hope parents, you're listening, because these are possibilities. Mm-hmm. We don't know what our youngins are going to be tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And it sounds
videos, or they can make videos with their fingers, girl. It's something
not like what we went through in school.
I know. Look, listen for the dead air, cutting and splicing.
Wow. I'm excited for this. Unfortunately, my children didn't have this opportunity, but just seeing and just knowing what a social media influencer can do. Since there's so many out there now, and look at what TikTok has just exploded.
Oh, shoot. Yes.
So there are so many ways that you can spin this and possibly sell a product at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, wow. Possibilities. I think that's the word for the night. Possibilities.
Yeah, and all you want to do is ask the question, what is your process? What is your process? And I mean, honest with you, by next fall, everything I'm saying may be under the umbrella of the NCAA, but it's nothing now.
Okay.
But still ask the question, especially if you're trying to get a scholarship, and you don't want to be on the wrong side of it, but if it's something that comes to you naturally, like I have a former student from St. Paul's, had a D1 player son who actually playing for Hampton right now. He's in grad school at Hampton, but he's a rapper. The child is a rapper. I mean, he was already rapping. I understand he's going to perform live. See, now he's good.
Good.
You see what I'm saying? It's like, wow.
This is really interesting. And but it sounds like you still need to be aware, know what you're getting involved in, keeping the university that you're going to be attending aware, and also really understand if you I'm just pulling out things from our conversation. If you decide to go the agent route, whether it's PR, finance, lawyer, just also scope them out as well, and just make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to be successful. Understand what cut a university may request, because now it seems like you may not be making a lot of money depending on what school you go. Or I wouldn't say that. Let me rephrase that. Your money, the state, your money may not be 100% yours. Mm-hmm. You have to share your profit.
You might have to pay to use the logo, or you may not be able to say that you are in a college student, and that should be fine too if you know how to spend it. Let me share this resource. There's a book called Surviving the Lights, a professional playbook to avoid the curse, by I think you've had on your podcast before, Tawana Smith.
Oh yes. Uh-huh.
And so that book is very helpful. And she wrote it again about 5 years ago but it was about the curse of money and athletes and losing their money. Main reason because they have family and friends that say they can do certain things for them, and it didn't work out that way. And I like to say it's like getting a ticket in a different county. You better go find that lawyer that was in that county where you got that ticket, because that lawyer knows that judge. And so although back home my neighbor may be a lawyer and got my back, but that ain't what you need. So
Okay. Well, this was a lot of great information. Thank you, Ms. Monique A.J. Smith, otherwise known as Tony. And I want to really thank you. This was a lot of great information. Things are changing, so I do want everyone to, pay attention to their state and what their state is doing, or the state of the university that has an interest in you. And any parting words before we go,
if
Monique?
you have any questions, just find me on LinkedIn, Monique AJ Smith, and I will do my very best to steer you in the right direction.
Thank you for that. Wow. We've just completed day 22. Yay. I am super excited. Thank you for helping me with this journey. I'm going for the gold. Like last year, I actually did 31, October 1st through 31st. So this year, I am doing my darndest to do the same thing. And we are grateful for those people who are benefiting from this information that's being provided. So as we complete the possibilities of name, image, and likeness, I do want to say thank you. Oh, we have Helen Hope Kimbrough, our classmate as well. She said, awesome, great discussion. Thank you, Helen.
Her
And
son was in my class.
say that again.
Her son, I call him my dynasty son. He was in my class, and
Oh,
he's doing
nice.
fabulous. He does some work with the NFL. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. We need
Mm-hmm.
to have him on here too.
Hey, we can find him. See, we can find him. I'm sure he knows a lot. He does the rotating program where they put him in different positions. It's like an internship, but he does get paid.
Nice. Good, good.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, going to wrap this up tonight. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Monique A.J. Smith, for being here with us tonight. This is Lisa Marie Aird with Campus Bound GPS October Tips, wrapping up day 22. Thank you all for viewing. Good night, and please, please, please be safe out there. Bye-bye.